All right, so today we're gonna explain what's going on with this warm-up that we do. A lot of people look at it, it looks a little silly, but it's a very science-based, very thoughtful warm-up that includes thermogenesis, where we're getting the body warmed up and heated up, but we're really preparing the fascia, the soft tissue, the muscle. We're preparing the body for activity, getting the breath moving. And there's a very specific sequence that we're going to use today, and I'm going to show you. All right, so number one, rebounding. We always want to do 2 to 3 minutes of rebounding to start every day off. We want to create a supple body. We don't want to bring all the tension, anxiety, and stress into the workout. So this is a great way to get started. And it's fun. And so when you're rebounding, the idea is you don't need a trampoline. I could do the same thing on the floor. The idea is to get the fascia to snap, to get the body to react as one spring. And then obviously with the rebounding, I like to think about how we get the counter motion, how we can be playful. Think about your nerves in your nervous system and your brain. They respond and react when you're in a state of play. Sometimes we get too serious, too uptight, but the brain's not very flexible when you're like that. All right, so we did something that's loose, light, snappy. Now we'll do something that's a little more stable and controlled. We either use a reverse walking with the sled, where we're just pulling a weighted sled backwards, or we use the dead mill, which is basically just a fixed treadmill. This thing's not even plugged in. And the idea is just to get a consistent movement of the belt, because every time I stop, I gotta start it again. So you get the belt moving, get some momentum. And then another thing, I see a lot of people jump on this and they get so stable and stiff. We really want to maintain the counter motion of the upper body. Breathing deeply, getting some gas exchange. And the biggest thing is we're protecting this anterior chain, so doing a little bit of this every day is a great way to protect your knees. And then I'm also trying to think with my feet. I want a flat surface that can really grip that belt. And at the end, I want to peel my toes back, work the front of that shin, that anterior tib muscle. It's a part of the protective mechanism of the knee. So it connects right in with the quad and how it really supports that knee. With the back support here, the fact that you're putting pressure into that lower back too, it's really good for just giving you good mobility and a little bit of pressure in that lower back. And as you're kind of moving, you're providing a good little joint mobilization of the lower back. But the idea is you're trying to get those quads engaged. And what you really notice when you do this often, you'll see your VMO, or the middle part of your quad at the end, the teardrop area, really start to develop and activate. That part of the quad is so big and supporting the tracking of the knee cap, keeping the alignment of the kneecap where it needs to be. Very critical for that function. Patellofemoral tracking, kneecap tracking. It's good. And then we go to club swings. The idea with the club swings is I'm crossing midline and I'm following something instead of controlling something. So it's about really stimulating flow and efficiency. It's a good idea if you're new at this to start on a line, because the idea is if I can keep this weight on a line, my body has to learn to get out of the way for me to maintain that plane of motion. So you can almost think about using that line as a guide. And the body learns how to adjust and get out of the way. And this gives you almost perfect coiling mechanics. So the simplest and easiest way is just to keep it down the line. And then we can alternate. I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible today. This is like an intro or a user-friendly way to kind of introduce yourself to some of these concepts that we use every day. I've developed most of these concepts working with fighters over the years, helping guys reestablish their reach, their ability to access their full length as a fighter. That's so important, because if you can't use the full length of the body, you're not going to be very effective at being able to maintain safe distances while still being able to affect them and touch them, right? So then we'll turn this shoulder level, we're going to turn it into a over and around, over. I like to go both ways. And the idea is it's a fold, turn, release. Fold, turn, release. And again, we're using the momentum in the fascia. You shouldn't feel like it's on one part. You should feel like you're able to spread it out through the whole system. A lot of people look at this stuff too and they think of it like, oh, my shoulders can't do that, or oh, this is, like it's creating a harmful stress. This is actually the way I've restored my shoulders and brought them back to life after 12 years of football and a lot of wear and tear, multiple AC joint separations. Obviously, if you're having pain or impingement with this, then you're maybe scaling it too fast. Maybe let's stay at a level that's right here. But the idea is you're building tempo, rhythm, timing, and you're crossing the midline. Every time you cross the midline, you're switching the hemisphere that the brain has to use to control and operate that motion. So think of it like the left side of the brain controls the right side of the body, right side of the brain controls the left side of the body. So simple as this may seem, neurologically, I'm bringing my attention across the midline. I'm actually making both sides of my brain have to alternate their dominant function. And then we have the inertia wave. The guy that made the inventor of the inertia wave would really not be too happy with me, because you're supposed to have about a 12-inch strap at this connection. He used to comment on my videos when I set it up like this. And so with this, it's the same thing. The idea is I'm learning how to not be overly stable. I call this bingo arms. It's like the old ladies, they get the bingo, they gotta wave that hand. We like to really think about how we can generate inertia and momentum from the ground, through the body, through the arm. And with this band, it's a little heavier, so it gives us a little something that we can follow and feel. But I like the idea of working these in 4 directions. We're gonna go forwards, we'll go backwards, which you can see now I'm working more of the posterior side of the shoulder. And then I like the idea of too, where you can alternate the coiling positions. This would be considered our front stance, stable in the front leg. This would be considered the back stance, stable in the back leg. And so now I'm learning how to disassociate. Just like an octopus, got 8 different arms, it could do 8 different functions. We're trying to teach the body how to operate and maintain different rhythms, different properties, almost to where the attention can turn off. Now we're gonna go side to side. And we'll go up and down. You can see I'm trying to let this wave carry itself all the way through into the ground. And then it's at length too. So I'm actually learning to be stable while my arm's fully elongated instead of retracted in here tight. Learn to be supple in the trap. Get rid of the guarding. What's going on in the neck or the shoulder. And then you're building a crazy, phenomenal grip. When you learn to hold these things, you're always having to grip and connect to your hand. Thing is, with a weak grip, if your grip's weak, it doesn't matter how strong you are because you don't have access to it. You can't connect to it. If you're a baseball player, a football player, thrower of any kind, and you're not doing this, you're behind. This is incredible in terms of sustaining, maintaining a thrower's, not just arm, but just the whole system, the whole body. And it is a skill. So that's where I see a lot of people get frustrated because they have to maintain coordination. A lot of athletes I work with, they don't like not being good at something. So they shy away from things like this because they're not quite good at it yet. It's like anything, when you first do it, you're not going to be amazing at it. But that's why I like the idea you do these 2 or 3 minutes every single day before you train, and now you're developing real skills instead of just warming up. And a lot of times too, people are looking for like, oh, how many sets, how many reps? 2 to 3 minutes. Just do what feels right. Each day may be a little different. Some days you might really want to sit in there, flow with it, and you might feel like you have a little bit more connection to what you're doing. Some days you might feel like you just want to check the box. It's fine. The point is, it's just like be disciplined to doing something that is constructive, that has intentions, and that's going to serve a deeper purpose. All right. So this is another thing you could kind of supplement instead of the club swings. If you have either a steel mace or even just a weighted bar, works well. But the idea is that with the shoulders, we're trying to get the trunk, the thorax, the scapula, the spine to react when the shoulder's overhead. So a great way is to work on this folding pattern where I have the hand kind of down the middle of the back and letting just the static load and the weight create a position where I can now keep this part of the arm vertical and the elbow pointing up. And this is a great way to where just me learning how to hold and sustain this, and then just walking around, I can do walking lunges, movement, lateral movement. You can use a kettlebell, you can use whatever, but the idea is you're just letting the static position do one thing, and then you're trying to really focus on the compression and expansion of the core that exists through the middle of the body. So nothing's really static as long as we can maintain that peristalsis, that compression and contraction of that lower belly, the ribs connection to the pelvis in the front. That's really what takes the load off of the lower back and keeps us from hyperextending and being overly extended. This is really common when you have tight hip flexors because the pelvis wants to suck back, the lower back wants to stay over engaged. This is really our system to really work on and engaging and activating the front of the body, but without losing the arm position. And then now if you want to take this into something that's a little bit more dynamic, the idea is once this weight falls out of midline, it's going. There's a load that's moving this way that I can follow to this side and then back. So the goal is I'm going to start in the middle. I'm starting to fall this way, and I finish in the middle. Try not to bash anybody in the head while you're doing these. Another great thing you can do, think about warming up, is stimulating your hand-eye connection. Getting your eyes and your hands working together and firing your nervous system up in that way. Something a lot of people don't consider, even if you're going to be doing hypertrophy and muscle building, the idea of stimulating the fast twitch responses, the hand-eye coordination in a simple way, a game with a ball, something you did when you were a kid. All right, Jimmy, we're gonna do a little hand-eye. And the goal too is to catch it at range, and then we're working, can I sustain that position or do I fall right out of it? So you're trying to really understand where your body has control at length. And a lot of times people don't realize it, but once they get at length, their body wants to protect itself. And you don't have the ability to really sustain that in position. This ball weighs 1 pound, so it's not a huge load. But once you get extended, you'll notice you're asking more of the shoulder and the body to be stable. And you notice with both of us, nobody's sitting here square waiting on what's going on. The idea of good athleticism isn't balanced. It's not 50-50. It's always 60-40, 60-40. It's always off center. And so we're always flowing, alternating, and kind of working within that coil. And then changing your perspective is about working your nervous system again. You got to consider the parts of the brain that when I change my head position and my awareness in relation to my body, so now I'm turning from left to the right, that's really exercising a specific area of the brain that allows me to have this awareness and perspective to the outside. And you'll notice there's a difference a lot of times, or like a little catch up you'll find your body has to do, where there might be a little delay, or there might be a little less coordination on one side versus the other. Become interested in that deficit. Become interested in getting that side caught up to the side you know is a little better. Don't run away from it. Oh, he's on the mat. He's on the mat. Yeah. All right. So that would be kind of our warm up. So it's a stimulation, neurostimulation, thermogenesis. We're getting some heat built in the body. We're getting some breath moving.